Okay, now we're going to create a screen to view the sample data that we configured the system to collect automatically in the last session. So I'm going to go down to a window here and create a new window. And I'm going to select the SPC component tab up here, and we see all different types of control charts. But I'm going to select this SPC controller first and put it on the screen. The SPC controller will go out and gather that SPC sample data. And when you go into preview mode or you're at the client, that component doesn't show. But we have properties where we can select what SPC data that we want to show. The easiest way to do that is go to the stored SPC name and type in SQL tag pressure. Now the SQL tag is the prefix for any data that's collected automatically. Pressure was the name that we gave the tag collector and the configuration associated with that. And it's going to let me know that I don't have an attribute name here, that I haven't put that in yet. So I need to do that, and that's the name of my tag, which was realistic 1. I'm also going to change it to be an individual chart because we only read one value at a time. I also have to give a date range for the data to go collect. So if I wanted to look at SPC data from a year ago, for a month period a year ago, I can set that date range here. I'm going to go ahead and put a date range selector in here that we can use to do that. But it could be, you could have calculations so it does the last shift or the last day or last 5 minutes or what have you. But I'm going to go ahead and use the date range selector. So I'm going to bind the start date to the start date of the date range selector. And I'll do the same for the end date. So now if I go into preview mode, and it's 28th to the 30th, and I move this, now it's 20 to the 22nd, and it just follows whatever my selections are. So we'll get the SPC sample data for that date range. The other thing I want to do, there's a couple properties here. This automatic update, what that does is anytime I change a date range or change one of these other properties, it will update automatically. The auto refresh is every time a sample is taken, whether automatically or manual, it will notify the clients that have this control chart showing, and it will update the control chart with the most recent data. So that will go out and get the SPC data. Now I want to display that. So I go back to the SPC tab, and I'm going to collect the X-R, which is the individual range chart. And because I can have multiple charts on a screen, I need to tell the chart to go to this controller, which got the data for us, and get its SPC results from that. So clicking on the chart, we have an SPC results property. I bind that to the controller SPC results, and we get our data. Now there's a number of properties that affect the appearance, and I'm going to go down here and say, oh, don't show the range chart. So I just see the X-bar chart there. The other thing is I want to get rid of these scroll bars. So I'm going to say only show 3 columns of data here. So I'm going to go up to the table, minimum visible samples, 3. And we might actually have to go down 2, just because of the size of the screen here. We'll try to maximize it a little bit here. That's all we can do. So we're only seeing 2 samples. If I hide the table, we get more. I'm going to turn off the grid lines and just clean the chart up a little bit. And as we sit here and watch, this chart's updating. And every time a new sample is taken, we see it show up here. Now down at the bottom here, we have enable editing of control limits, and that is selected. So when I go into preview mode, I can then click on the right click on this left margin over here, select individual upper control limit, say calculate. It goes out there and calculates automatically what that control limit should be. And then lower control limit, I'll do the same thing, set that. Now I have my control limit showing on the chart here. If I do not want to show those control limits on the chart, then I can come back to the controller and actually remove these out of here. Or if I wanted to show different control limits, and then we'll remove them and we can put them back. So we've seen in the last couple sessions here, we've seen how to automatically collect data, and then we've seen how to pull that data out and show it on a control chart.